Who's that behind you?
Wooten. He lives here.
Uh,
We gave him Butt Dog's room.
yeah, Kevin told me he was pissed.
Yeah, that's what he gets for abandoning me. I got to pay $3,000 a month for a chef because this guy's not here. So he can frolic around Michigan. Hey, everybody, what's going on? Good morning. How y'all doing? If somebody don't mind, just type in there if the audio's okay. Boom, 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 boom.
Do you have the questions enabled where they can type?
Yeah. Well, there's just a delay, so as soon as I hit the button, it takes like 10 seconds to 10 seconds to kind of churn in. How's the audio? Dun, dun, dun. So how was your weekend?
It was good. Bulldogs won.
Yeah. All right, all right. Hey, good morning, folks. Let's take a look and see what we got with the markets, and we'll get this party going. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend and are ready to get back to the swing of things. The crazy markets we are in. What can you do? It's kind of exciting. Let's take a look here. So let me get the screen share on real quick. Boom, 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 boom. Can you see my screen, Willie?
Yep.
Present to everyone. All right, rock and roll. All right, so hold on one second. All right, so these are your market indices for the last 5 days. You can see here. I mean, you've got like a really incredible run, and all of these indices over the last couple of weeks. I mean, you're talking about a full-blown breakout. It's a little bit odd. I think a lot of people have probably been caught off guard just due to the velocity of the breakdown. It was a little bit steeper than the last few corrections we've had. But I think really the velocity of the move back higher has caught people a little bit off guard. Just talking to some of my students and stuff, they say, "Oh man, the market's so choppy." And it's like, well, no, the market's not choppy. The market's been taken off. It just happens to be, we're late to the party a little bit, and that's natural. The playbook says, usually when you break down like this, you can stall at some of these levels, and we just knifed through them like there was no such thing as resistance, and the breakouts happen with gusto. So it's exciting, and we're back to new highs, and so it's kind of like, what do we do now? What do we do now? Because if you're like a swing trader, it's hard to chase up a market like this. You're really overbought. You're really extended. Now you have broke out the highs, but there's a lot more risk than there is potential reward. So you have to be a little bit careful. If you want to initiate like swing positions and stuff like that, ideally, even just 1 or 2 days, maybe 3 days of consolidation or dip, that gives you kind of an area where you can manage your risk, and then you can kind of load up on some plays, and then play this newly formed uptrend on the short-term time frame. So it's been very tricky. I don't know, Will, you've been with me now 4 years. I mean, have you seen a move like this? It's been quite some time.
That's exactly what I was thinking earlier. Last week, I guess on Friday, I was like, wow, I've never seen the market go straight down and then straight back up that like sharp of a dip. It was probably, I think it was the first time I've been around for that.
Yeah, and you can see here, like if you look at really anything, the Russell 2000 up 5% for the week. I mean, that's really just kind of unheard of. But look at this pattern. We had this big rollover pattern, and we knifed down and we got a little bit of play off of it, and then boom, we've just totally reversed it. I mean, the Russell 2000 is almost back at highs too. This thing's been in really a downtrend for a while, but this is the previous high here. So we start taking out this level, then you'll probably see a breakout the highs. If we can get some type of rest, that would be really, really nice. But one of the things that you want to see in a healthy market, and a healthy market is you want to see risk on the table. You want to see some speculation in terms of riskier names really running. And the Russell 2000 represents, a broad-based index, but it has a lot of small caps in it. And so you want to see the Russell 2000 doubling up, the S&P. You want to see it doubling up the S&P. You really want to see it making a go out of things. And, see S&P's up 2.5%, Russell's up almost 5%. That's the type of thing that you really want to see, is that risk on the table. That shows that there's really some broad-based buying and things like that. And, if you look at even any type of breadth measures that we like to track, like I like to track like the number of breakouts every day, and you'll see, there's quite a few, big moves. So we track like 4% breakouts. We see, a lot of people will track like advancers and decliners, but, stock can go up 1 penny and it'll show as an advancer. I want to know how many stocks are really making big, powerful thrusts that we can trade and make money on. And so, I'm looking for these stocks that are making the 6, 7, 8% moves, 5% moves. And there was, 474 different names that made the type of move that I'm looking for. That's pretty huge. And, in terms of stocks that are making 4% down moves, 142. So it's a really, really good ratio. It's a 3-to-1 ratio about, and that tells you that there's some broad-based buying behind the market. So one of the things that we look at when we're looking at a move, whether it's a stock or a market, is once you see an up move, what's the validity of that up move? What's the validity of the up move? What is the confirmation on it? And one of the things that you can use is, market breadth, which will tell you that, hey, there's broad-based participation, but there's significant participation in stocks making explosive moves. Because as you guys know, if you're looking at the QQQs or the SPYs, you can have like Apple and Google make some big moves, and the QQQs that'll move the whole NASDAQ itself. And so that doesn't mean there's a broad-based move, though. It just means that maybe Apple or Google was hot, and then the whole tech space was moving. So that's why the market breadth is really, really important. And so there should be some good opportunities. Now, one of the things I was mentioning is it's probably a little bit late to the party to initiate some swing positions, but it's still a good day trading environment. When you're day trading, whether the market's up or so extended or not, it doesn't necessarily matter. You're taking each day as it comes. If this is a rollover day, it's a rollover day. If the market's getting flatlined, then you're going to trade it like that. And if the market's thrusting higher and higher, then you trade it like that, and you just take it as it comes. And so you want to have a broad mix of stocks to watch, whether they're longs or shorts. But the good thing is it's earnings season right now. So when you have earnings season, regardless of really what's happening with the market or the stocks, you're going to have a certain amount of plays that are moving just based on good or bad earnings. And so every day you're going to get really a handful of plays like that also. So let's take a look at my watch list real quick, and then we'll kind of move this thing along. So Abita is the stock that I've been watching for a while. You can see here we've got a flag over here, but there's the more powerful move rather than the short-term flags. Also, it's got a long-term trend line break. So this would be probably my favorite stock on the board. I like the look of this bad boy. One of the things I'll be watching is if the market keeps running. Obviously there's a lot of strong stocks out there, but the market keeps running, and everybody, like we were saying, a lot of people have been left behind on this run, because it caught people by surprise. So what you will see is a lot of people will start to pick up all the plays on the bottom that haven't really moved yet. So it's important to kind of keep some plays that are just on their dead bottom, as those things tend to get picked up late in the market thrust. So when you have like day 8, 9, 10 of a market rally, and a lot of people have missed the move, they're going to start looking for stocks that haven't really made a move yet, and that can be a really, really powerful type of setup. So I like this FWM here. It's fairly low risk over here because you only got really 10, 15 cents risk on the table on this one. QEP, so this is like basically a 1, 2, 3 pattern. When you get a stock flush down like that and it pops, and you make a higher low, when you can come out of its range like this, that's a confirmation of a 1, 2, 3 pattern. I like the look of this one. If oil pops, and you can tell here this is a 1, 2, 3 pattern is a bottoming pattern. So this is another stock that's on the bottom that's got some room to go. MM is another stock that's in a base breakout formation. You can see your 20-day moving average flattening out. It's breaking over the 50, and you got you're starting to clear this, basically this horizontal resistance over here. Looks pretty good. Wriggles. This is not a buy and hold. This is not even a buy and hold for 2 hours type of stock. You can see here it's got a really, really a lot of momentum. Had a nice late day push in this thing. I think we hit this thing, 1935 or something at the end of the day. It had this nice late day push into it. So I'd expect this thing to kind of carry over into today. So I'll be watching this one very closely. If it opens up weak and goes red to green, we might see a break over these previous highs. Let's see if we get like a 30-minute chart here. So you can see here it's a little bit more clean than it shows on the daily. You got right about there. So test, 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 test. So watch for that weak open, and then and see if it can thrust back through it. That might give us a run into the breakout. Now, something like this, a stock that's up this much, this is not a buy and hold thing. You're really it's just a rental. So make sure, you're not marrying yourself to this. Rundy is, another base breakout. And these are kind of some of the things that I usually will play more in my IRA because they don't require as much maintenance. You can buy it and then you set your stop and you kind of just let the thing play out. Or you can be like my roommate over here, Chris Wooten, and just buy some turd like this. This is Chris Wooten's swing trade. Willie, do you see anything that you would want to buy out of this?
What price did he buy it?
Like 11.30 or something.
Oh my God.
11 bucks.
You might have chased it a little bit, Wooten.
I'm gonna hang myself.
Not only did he chase it, but he bought it on a tip. This guy spent all this money on classes, and he's taking tips. I had to do it, man.
Don't worry, I learned my lesson.
Just to shake it out of you.
I learned my lesson. I was just excited for my first trade in that account.
He opened a swing trade account, so he had to have a swing trade. So his buddy Blake the Snake, his buddy's like, dude, this iCat is so hot, and so they both bought it together, and it had like 70,000 shares in volume, and of course it'd been up for all these days in a row.
Yeah, learned my lesson.
Oh shit. I had to just bring it up, man. I'm sorry. I'll never bring it up again. That was it. Now that the world knows what kind of swing trades you like. Why? This is kind of a bottoming pattern too. You can see here after the flush we popped up, we made a lower high, and now if we can kind of take out this range right here, you might see a run into the 90s. I like the look of this one too. This actually also happens to be a very good intraday trader. There's some stocks that just trade like crap intraday, and then there's some stocks that make big significant moves and they're usually clean. This is one of them, so I do like to always have this one around. And this one trades like crap. Take it off the list. Yeah. For some of you small cap lovers, this stock looks like it's getting ready to make a really, really big move. Look at the volume pattern on it. On the days it pulls back, the volume's fairly light. I don't like the fact that it faded so hard yesterday off its open and move. So that's something I'll have to keep an eye on. But I do think this thing is setting up for a move into the threes. I don't know anything about this company, but the volume pattern and just this action right over here is nice. TSL is a solar stock, so it seems like oil is starting to put in a little bit, of a bottom here. We might see a run in these solar stocks. This one's got a bottoming pattern on it too, and so does CSIQ and SPWR. So, if you like one, I mean, they all look the same. So, kind of pick the one that you like the best. Similar looks to all of them. So, I thought that TSL looked tighter, but usually CSIQ is a better trader. So sometimes one might have the hot setup, but another one trades better. You might go with the one that trades better. No, not this one. Coop. You ever traded this thing? Coupons.com?
I don't think so.
Who doesn't like coupons?
I actually never even looked at that chart.
So this is, after this huge flush, we've essentially just started to bottom here and really coil up. So any break of this trend line, first stop 15, next stop in the 16s, but that's a pretty powerful pattern right there. This is a very prevalent pattern when stocks have reached a bottom on it. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. This is like if we see these market roll over, this is a stock that I have for a short. We've got this breakdown, pull back into the 50-day moving average, so your risk is really easy to manage. I won't try to take it unless the market starts to really show some significant weakness. But I like these type of plays where your risk is easy to manage. Especially, I mean, you've already had a $20 pop in this thing after the flush, so you've retraced most of this dump, and so you've got an easy way to manage your risk. But this market's super strong right now, so I wouldn't just take any short lightly. I'd have to really see some things line up. Dun, 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 dun. WPRT is another one I'm watching for a base breakout. It's a pretty simple pattern here. It's really tight right now too, so your risk is really small on it, but you got a lot of potential upside. Arna, Junk, LITV, no volume. That's it for my daily watch list. What do you got? What do you like?
I was just looking at some movers. This ARCP is moving again this morning. It was pretty hot last week. We played it a few times. It's a big dip down. It's dipping again.
So this particular stock, we played it numerous times, but in full disclosure, I lost all those times. I lost like $2,000 on this sucker.
Oh yeah, that's one I've got.
Oh shit! What a stock!
It's gapping down this morning over $1.
Yeah, I see it. All right, we'll keep an eye on this one. So this one's got a lot of juice, and you can see there's something going. I don't know what the news is, but it's very rare you see stocks with 100, 200 million shares in volume. So obviously there's a lot of shenanigans going on in this bad boy. Big base, and now we're starting to break below it based on some type of news. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on this one. See, I got squeezed on this one right here. I misread the setup. So after this big flush, it popped up here. And actually, when we were calling the chat room originally, we wanted to short it up here on the pop. And then I went for a break, and I was answering some emails, and it came back down here, and it was bear flagging here at 850. So I took, a short right here, and my stop was supposed to be right here. So just, I had like a 10-cent stop on it. And it popped down a little bit to 820, and I was burning up the phones, and then this thing started going here, and then I got stubborn, and I put my stop above the VWAP, which was at 9. And so I got smoked. It was ugly.
I like the daily chart of VSLR.
Oh yeah, I actually have some of this. I own this. I got $14.07 average.
1407.
Yeah. So this is IPO stock, and you know, it had a nice day in the IPO. It all, you know, you opened up, popped up to 19, and closed down here. I mean, it had a nice range, and that just really, with the market tanking, it IPO'd at the wrong time. Then we've had like kind of a nice rebound. We've been consolidating here in a really tight range. There's another solar stock, I think SKYS maybe, that is going to IPO today. It's like a Chinese solar stock, I believe. So I'll be watching VSLR too, because if that thing gets picked up, we're going to be good to go. You know, this thing will have some movement on it.
Another one is GERN. It's gapping pretty big pre-market. GERN.
Oh yeah, GERN is always a target. Hold on. GERN. SKYS is the ticker. Who's that? You got any goodies?
I do. It's Monday, man.
Yeah. Omar brings coffee on Mondays. What did you say, GERN?
Yeah.
He was bringing coffee every day, but due to recent budget cuts in the household, we've had to
$80 a week. So.
We've had to cut back our consumption of Starbucks.
Rewards card with them? I don't even know what gold card.
Okay. So GERN is gapping up right, kind of that 200-day moving average. Now we'll have to watch this one. This one has a history of, you know, fading off, but it also has a history of going on these big runs. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. So these little biotechs can really, really make a move. One of the things to watch is, you know, don't just buy it just to buy it. You know, wait till you see some type of intraday setup. So usually, you know, we'll like to see some pop and then some type of sideways consolidation so we can manage our risk, or a pullback to a you know, easy-go-lucky bounce spot. Intraday pullbacks are much trickier than playing flags. It requires a keen eye. But you know, buying a big dip is a lot easier than chasing it, you know, if it just breaks out. Almost every time I buy something at the highs, I lose. Especially at these type of stocks, they roll over right away. So, you know, you got to make sure that you get a really, really cool entry on it. What else you got?
The only ones I see that are gappers, really. There's, let's see.
Let me turn on my trade ideas over here. She was grunt. Sounded like a grunt. Alright, let's see here. You've been using this new channel bar?
I haven't used it yet.
Oh my God, get on the channel bar page.
I need you to teach me how to use it.
Hold on, free market. This channel bar page is unbelievable. Let me see. The problem with this Google Hangouts is you can only share like one part of the window. So when I open up my trade ideas, it only shows like one of the things. Like, you know, one of the tablets. Let me see here.
Oh, yeah, there you go. We can see it.
I know, but see, you know, you have like eight different windows.
Yeah.
I only show one. Frickin' Google. But this channel bar thing is hot. I got to show it to you.
Okay.
I'm going to call Mr. Merkin and play around with this thing because it's pretty cool. All right, so there is SAPE. Was that a buyout?
Yes.
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. What else we got? Dun, 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 dun. We already talked about that. What about CVD? What's going on with that one?
It looks like it was some type of earnings, maybe, or I don't know.
Boom, 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 boom.
Something weird.
Buyout of Covenant, seeks higher price, blah, 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 blah. Lab Corp to acquire Covenants for $5.6 billion. That's a buyout. You're right, there isn't much moving around this morning.
There's not. I couldn't find much. Gurn was really the only one.
Hold on, let me move to the other screen here. You got CYOU, dun 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 dun, a lot of this Brazilian junk. Sears Holdings. Sears Holdings is a real pain to trade, though. Retail stocks, guys, just word to the wise. Retail stocks suck to trade. This Sohu is probably, if it's breaking down here, 46.50. That stock's been basing for a while. They just break down again. That stock's a big turd. We'll watch it. I've never had good luck trading that stock either. So, guys, all traders have, once you do it for a while, there'll be stocks that you'll notice are tradable and untradeable. Sohu kind of is one of those stocks that tends to be a shitty stock to trade. It just doesn't have the right movement to it. It's hard to explain. It's a little bit more a feel, but you'll know because when your breakouts are clean, your breakdowns are clean, you pull back to the moving averages, like the different setups you like to trade, and they actually work, then you've got a stock that makes sense. All right, so there's nothing really moving around pre-market. So, our game plan is, obviously we don't want to be early. We don't want to be just shorting the market unless we see, real reasons to do it. And so what that means is you have to see something beyond just a market being extended. You need to see on a short-term basis on a 15-minute or 30-minute chart some type of short-term bearish setup emerging that will give you a hint that you're starting to see the downside on a longer time frame like a daily. And so we watch those short-term bearish setups, which will lead into a longer-term one, and that will give you the clue. Until that happens, we don't just start taking shorts just to take shorts. Now, the playbook says, yeah, the market's really extended, so, it's got to come back down, but that's not necessarily the case. If you don't look on a smaller time frame for that shorter term bearish setup, then you're essentially just taking a guess, like, hey, the playbook says this should come down, and so we do that, which is totally fine. You can do it that way too. My mentor Paul does it that way, and he's very successful. But depending on how big your account size is and the style of your trading, sometimes taking a lot of anticipatory market-based setups, you end up taking a lot of small losses, which really put a hit to your account, or for a lot of people, the hit to their psychology. I noticed that most traders are not good with taking small losses. They're impacted the same way mentally as when they take big losses. Losses just throw them in a funk, and so you have to also be a little bit aware of if you're taking the guess or the anticipation based on reward to risk ratios, that it's a totally fine scenario, but you have to be aware that in this type of market, sometimes these things get more extended than we imagine. Anybody got any questions? Kevin's asked about Wooba. Hold on, bro. And, by the way, Maribeth, should be done really soon, guys. We're gonna have a screen share, for our chat room, so you guys will be able to see. Like how I'm manipulating my TC2000 and running my scans and making my watch list and all that fun stuff throughout the day. So it should be pretty cool. So I'll have my watch list and I'll have my trading stuff up, and so you guys will literally be able to see. So I'll probably get on about 30 minutes before the market opens, and we'll do the same type of scenario where we'll go in and see exactly. We'll go in and see exactly, what I'm looking at in the morning and how I'm kind of measuring things out and things of that nature. And then throughout the day, and I'll have my trading montages usually pinned out. When I trade, I usually have them pinned to the side of my TC2000. So you'll be able to see me live trading and seeing what I'm entering, how I'm entering it. But most importantly, I think the key is, when you're trading, like for a lot of new traders, it's really hard to see the setups in real time. Like it's easy to go back and be like, oh, this is a flag. But I noticed for some people, and even though in real time, this flag to me looks like a flag, some people just have trouble catching it. So we'll have this screen share available in the chat room fairly soon. We'll have the details on it this week, I believe. Is that right, Willie?
Yep.
Rock and roll. Wooba does look like, this looks like kind of a bottoming pattern too. I do like the daily on this one. You're kind of right at a sweet spot too. X-ray. X-ray does look like a rubber band setup in the general terms of what we learn in class, Aggies. But to me, this stock's up only $6. It's only up 10%. So for me, that's not something I get excited about. I'm looking for stocks to just get nailed. Looking for stocks that are up a lot, right? 20, 30, 40, 50%, right? And we're looking for those parabolic type moves. In general, you're right. This is overbought and it's extended, but it's not necessarily for me parabolic. MRO, this is also a bottoming pattern, like a longer term 1, 2, 3. You got the 1, 2, 3 pattern coming out over here. I would have liked to enter it a little bit, closer over here, but same type of deal. You can usually buy in the break of, the W, or you can hit it at that, MA. Not bad. Now this is like a higher flow, kind of bigger name stock. I think there's more explosive oil plays out there, Marco. So, but that also is dependent on what you like to trade. Do you like to trade explosive ones or not explosive ones? I think that's it. That's all I got. Any last words for you? Anybody else got any other questions?
That's all I got.
All right, rock and roll.
Okay, see you in a little bit.
Peace. Later, folks.